There's a lot of things that I just love about Bleach. It's got that whole teen rebel energy that its more famous contemporaries didn't strive to capture, instead focusing on bright worlds of adventure or plucky idealistic heroes. In a lot of ways, Ichigo felt more relatable to me, being an introvert who mostly wants to protect his way of life and the people he holds dear. But for a lot of people, the most memorable part of Bleach is how the series gave us one of the most charismatic shonen villains, Aizen. There's just something about his smugness and masterful planning that attracted so many people to him. He's that magnificent master tactician who maintains an air of grace for like 90% of his time in the limelight. Not the type who gloats loudly, but the one who breaks someone down with a verbose essay about his strength and superiority. The best part? He's got a whole gallery of showcases of power to back that confidence up. The first time we knew he meant business was during the time of his betrayal. In short order, he beats Hitsugaya in Bankai before proceeding to confront Renji as word of his betrayal spreads. Renji's obviously no match, but Ichigo comes in, ready to kick ass with a full train of momentum. Ichigo and Renji hatch a plan. The music plays, and Ichigo goes in, ready to defeat just another captain. Then Aizen stops Ichigo's sword with a finger. The abrupt end to the music and the look on the characters' faces tells it all. It was at that point when you know they're screwed. Ichigo's speed that he just showed off a few episodes ago was stopped by the strongest finger in the series. And of course, Aizen one-shots after that. And he's not done. Komamura also falls, and just as it seems that Aizen will just stomp captain after captain, all the other people catch up to him, forcing him to escape in one of the most stylish ways possible. Man, I just love that shot of him with the glasses off and the new hairstyle. It's an iconic shot and is representative of one of the most defining moments in the entire series. Several arcs later, he didn't lose a beat. Fake Garakura Town is the next arc where he takes to the front lines of the action, and he easily shows that he's head and shoulders above the rest of the captains and wizards that dared take him in combat. Yeah, the Espadas fell, but when it's Aizen's turn to join the battle, he makes easy work of all opponents. The wizards mostly get one shot without much fanfare, and so did Komamura. When the last few captains cook up such a great team attack to take him down, he easily pulls off the Uno reverse card along with one of the most memorable quotes of the arc before proceeding to beat everyone in short order. However, he is a smart man and he knows his limits. Strong as he was that time, he knew that fighting head captain Yamamoto will still be trouble. So what does he do? Prepare the perfect counter meant to shut down the old man's strongest abilities, which leads to this next moment. Facing Wonder-Wise without most of his powers, what does old man Yamamoto do? Beat the living hell out of his supposed counter with his bare fists. Even without the aid of his Zanpakuto, Yamamoto gets to show why he's head captain and the strongest member of the Gotei 13, even surpassing Aizen as the latter admits it. The final shot of Wonder-Wise shattering was a sight to behold. It's one to be viewed with awe. Just how strong is Yamamoto really? Yeah, Aizen was right to be careful, but as I'd like to say, brains beat brawn, and he still finds a way to take Yamamoto out of the battle while he starts the crazy chain of evolutions that all come with their own showcases of strength. At that point, Aizen has quite literally become the definition of an immortal god, and nothing can stop him, or so it's seen for almost half a year in real time. That's until Ichigo goes on a training arc and comes back with a final evolution of his own. Now sporting longer hair and attire that would turn 14-year-olds in the 2000s into fanboys, Ichigo quickly turns the tide on Aizen. I mean, backhanding a physical god, grabbing him by the face in such a disrespectful manner, and actually going to a level where Aizen can't even begin to comprehend the difference between them. We're talking mountain-shattering sword swings, bare-handed breaking of super high-level Kido, and for good measure, returning the favor. This time, it's Ichigo who stops Aizen's sword with his hand, while the latter starts breaking down. It's the first time we ever see Aizen so unhinged, and it's Ichigo's turn to be calm and stoic while exhibiting his complete control over the battle. It's a cathartic dissection of Aizen and all he stood for. But Ichigo didn't get to that point with ease. He certainly didn't win a lot of fights with ease, and in the major fights, he found himself on death's door more times than not. In fact, he's a favourite plaything of Ulquiorra. If memory serves me correctly, Ulquiorra's the one who had him practically killed more times than anyone else in the series. The Espada practically had his way with Ichigo in all of their encounters save the last one, and even there, he dominated most of the fight. Even with Ichigo getting his share of power-ups and having renewed determination, Ulquiorra just outmatches him, shoving off new form after new form in the process and driving our hero into despair. He easily shakes Ichigo's resolve, finishing him with a Zero in front of Orihime in a heart-wrenching scene for people to remember. Of course, plot things happen and it's a revived Ichigo who gives Ulquiorra a stomp right back, but it's still amazing how Ulquiorra still dominated this final encounter in spite of everything. It's also at this point where Bleach starts becoming comical with the pattern in its big fights. You know, when fights devolve to guys taking turns one-upping each other, revealing new power after another, each one crazier and more powerful than the previous, until one fighter inevitably loses. It's funny when described that way, but that's really what happens, and the 1000-year Blood War arc takes that to complete overdrive. It's still a hyped arc at the start though. It's when things finally get real and shit hits the fan, and the first part of the arc is so amazing in terms of threat escalation. People may not look back on the 1000-year Blood War as good as Soul Society arc, but I think it's a good arc with lots of revelations. An arc that's nowhere near well received, however, is the Fullbring arc, where this next moment takes place. It's a soft reboot aimed at fleshing out the human characters more while lowering the power scale of things, bringing us back to what resembles the first arc of Bleach. Hey, remember when the series was Ghostbusters instead of Dragon Ball with swords? Unfortunately, the arc was an unwelcome change to a lot of fans, and it seems that Kubo decided to save the ship by bringing back the fan-favorite Shinigami characters at the end. Shinigami vs Fullbringers was a near-complete stomp, but none showed off as pathetic of a performance as Giriko. Using his empowered Fullbring, he spends time boasting and towering over Kenpachi. It's a hulking new form that looks like it will finally give the battle-hardened captain some challenge. No. Kenpachi just one-shots him and that's it. Freaking boring. Probably the easiest fight Kenpachi had in the series, all done to establish his superiority. The arc ending that way was such a shame, especially since it brought the spotlight back to characters who've been forgotten in favor of the Shinigami like Uryu. Brought in as Ichigo's rival, he really had a thing going as our protagonist's foil and equal. He also had one hell of a showing in Soul Society, being the only non-Ichigo member of the invasion team to single-handedly be a captain in Bankai too. Faced with Mayuri's unsettling monster of a Bankai, Uryu releases his powers beyond their limits. In an attack that sacrificed all the spiritual power reserves he had, he takes on Mayuri's giant baby caterpillar alone and wins. Seeing that thing go boom felt so good, and the blast took Mayuri along with it for good measure. Of course, no one really died, but Uryu has his one claim to fame. Sadly, he loses his powers, gains it back, but was never the same again, going from the rival character to being sidelined as an often forgotten member of the supporting cast. I call this the Grey Fullbuster syndrome, and like Grey, Uryu is set to redeem himself in the final arc of the series. More reasons to look forward to 1000-Year Blood War. Another reason to look forward to the arc, the mysteries surrounding Ichigo's family will be revealed. At long last, we get to know about his true heritage and the story behind Isshin and Masaki's fated meeting. We all know that Ichigo's dad is a lot more than he shows on the surface, and that much was first revealed when he showcased his power against Grand Fisher. He easily one-shot Grand Fisher while giving a cool lecture on Captain Power levels, and he takes off the mask of a goofy idiot dad for the first time. Grand Fisher never got his much-desired revenge on Ichigo thanks to Daddy playing spoiler, but would you rather have him fighting Ichigo again over this awesome flex by Isshin in how easily he destroyed Grand Fisher? Given Isshin's involvement in the battle against Aizen and how well he held his own there, you just know that there's a long and intricate backstory waiting somewhere in the back, and we'll finally get that big revelation in anime form. And if current Isshin already has those performances under his belt, who knows what's to come for this enigma of a dad. And that's it for my favourite and most memorable moments in Bleach where characters showcase their power. For those who've watched the series and have fond memories of it, I'd love to know your favourite moments as well. Who had the coolest first impression or the best set of powers? Obviously, I'm looking forward to the final arc so much, I can't wait to see it animated. Having just read the final arc, I can guarantee that we'll be seeing these showcases of strength far more often. Heck, I can even make an entire video on just that one arc, but let's see about that. As I wrap up this video, I hope that you enjoyed taking the trip through some of my favourite moments in the series. If you enjoyed the video, I hope that you'll kindly take the time to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and share the video with your friends. You can also opt to check out my main channel, ViniiTube. You'll get your assortment of countdown videos there if that's what you like. I'm trying to hit 1 million subs over there, so your help would be really much appreciated. That's it for this video, and I hope to see you again next time.